Hey Dan. We're going to finish off these two last cities. Heading on in. And already you can hear a very different style to this one. Let's just see what the police officer has to say. Where am I? You're on Chang'an Avenue, Beijing's main street. Well, it's one very solid piece of information. We'll have a look and see. There's one other Koopa coming up here, but let's just duck down one street. And first off, we'll chat with this fella here. Where am I? Its capital, Beijing, used to be called Peking. Alright, stop that little Koopa. And why is the Temple of Heaven closed today? Like the sign says, bud, the Hall of Good Harvest was stolen, and we can't reopen until it gets returned. Here is a pamphlet with more information. Missing the Hall of Good Harvest. Reward, $1,610. Very specific amount. Tiantan, the Temple of Heaven, is China's most famous temple. It consists of several buildings built around the 15th century, all set inside a walled park. The Hall of Good Harvest, the most well-known of the park's buildings, is set on top of a triple tier of marble terraces. Each carved terrace has its own balcony. The 123-foot-high structure is amazing because it was built without one single nail. The Emperor of China would spend one evening a year in the temple, fasting and praying to assure a good harvest. Alright, we'll head on over. Up this street, and let's see if we can find another Koopa over here. Just to make sure we've cleared out this street before we move on. Nothing there. There's also a very distinctive look to this city, which is another thing. I don't think I mentioned it previously, but yes, all the architecture behind you will change. No, I want to speak with you. There we are. Where am I? This Chinese city can boast of being a capital for 800 years. Alright, well, it seems we are in Beijing, we are in China, and we are in the capital of China, which is Beijing. Alright. No artifacts yet, but we'll keep our eyes open. Yes, all the architecture behind you will change depending on what city you're in. It's now called the People's Republic of China. That's right. Anything else here? Oh, yes, one other. Oh, there's another information kiosk here. Why is the Forbidden City closed today? Like the sign says, bud, the Gate of Heavenly Peace was stolen, and we can't reopen until it gets returned. Here is a pamphlet with more information. Missing the Gate of Heavenly Peace. Reward, $1,750. Bonus, $2,800. The Gateway of Heavenly Peace, Tian'anmen, was built in AD 1651. An impressive 110 feet tall, Heavenly Peace is the main entrance to Forbidden City, which has been renamed the Palace Museum. Once the walled estate of emperors, only the emperor himself was permitted to use Tian'anmen. Guards kept everyone else out. Those entitled to visit the city had to use a separate entry. In 1949, the leader, Mao Zedong, stood at the gate to announce the formation of the People's Republic of China, the present-day communist government. All right. Now we've got something there. And let's have a look here. All right, so sort of a round object. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what it is. That neat wooden building was actually built without nails, screws, or cement. Okay. And my apologies if I do mispronounce anything or sort of garble the pronunciation of any of these things. I know that it isn't exact to, take a word from another language or a name from another language and then try to, write it with the Latin alphabet. But I will do my best. Have you got anything for me? Yes, you do. All right, a brick, it looks like. And up we go. Perhaps this fellow will tell us something. What is this? That brick from China's wall is 23 centuries old. Where am I? Chinese culture is extremely ancient, 3,000 years old or more. Good to know. Alright, well we've got another information kiosk here, which I believe will be for that thing there, but let's just double check. Why is the Great Wall of China closed today? Like the sign says, bud, the stone from the Great Wall was stolen and we can't reopen until it gets returned. Here's a pamphlet with more information. Missing the stone from the Great Wall. Reward, $1,225. One of the world's 7 great wonders, the Great Wall is the only man-made object visible from outer space. I do believe that is actually a common misconception, but we'll leave it as it is. The Chinese poetically call it Long Wall of 10,000 Li. It is said that over 300,000 men labored for 10 years to complete its 3,946 miles. Begun in the 5th century BC, its purpose was to keep northern tribes from attacking southern states. The wall was built wide enough to allow a team of 5 horses to run side by side along its top surface. Alright, we'll take care of that Koopa there, and this one coming up. Very good. And now I want to return the stone from the Great Wall. Ask away. How long is the Great Wall? Well, we know that it is precisely 3,946 miles. When did the building of the Great Wall begin? That was in the 5th century BC, was it? Yes. At last. Very good. Let's have a look here. A lovely shot of Luigi there with the Great Wall of China. Now we're still on the lookout for one last artifact, and then we'll make our way back towards the beginning. Let's see, alright, so it has to be one of these 3 Koopas. Koopa? Good question, but it's that one there. Might as well take care of those 2. Oh, there you go. And down one more. Over to the right, and let's just make sure we've got the correct thing. Yes, I believe that would be the gate there. I want to return the Gate of Heavenly Peace. What is Forbidden City's present name? It is the Palace Museum. Who built the Heavenly Gate? That was not Mao Zedong. No, he announced its opening. And not Mao Zedong, but that was Young Li. Yes, there we are. Wonderful. Now, one other thing I'll just show you quickly. If you go into your computer here, you'll see the little check marks for anybody you've talked to about any of the items in particular, or for the pamphlets with more information. If you want to double check those things, all you need to do is press A, and it will bring it back up. So here's a tourist telling us where we are, and that's exactly what he told us. Its capital, Beijing, used to be called Peking. So if you have gotten yourself, you've spoken to everybody, you want to double check something that they said, you can always just go into your computer to double check. Let's have a look. All right, down one more street. And let's see if we can return the Hall of Good Harvest. What did the Emperor do here one night a year? Not a slumber party, not a great feast. He would fast and pray. And how high is it? Well, it's not 123 stories, or fathoms, or meters. It is 123 feet. It would be quite impressive if they made a building 123 stories tall without any nails, screws, or cement. Alright, now before we run off to the exit, let's just get Yoshi here. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Alright, heading over towards Australia. And north again. head over this way, and that should be China right there. Beijing, exactly. All right. Nicely done. And there's our password in case we want to come back to this point. But we will continue on with our search for Mario. And head into this last door here. Don't worry, Ludwig von Koopa, we're coming for you soon. And let's see where Luigi ends up next. Okay, a very different sound compared to the last city we were in. Let's just have a quick little check. There are no Koopas here, but there are some down one level. Let's take you out, and you. Very good. And this fellow here. Oh, 2 in a row. Nicely done. All right, coins, and perhaps a painting, perhaps a statue of a man. Let's have a look here. And first, let's ask where we are. You're on a boot-shaped peninsula in southern Europe, somewhere in the Mediterranean. Okay. That's not a very useful answer. It's a very interesting answer. And what is this? Michelangelo was up for painting ceilings. That's his masterpiece. Okay. Why is the Colosseum closed today? Like the sign says, bud, the gladiator's spear was stolen, and we can't reopen until it gets returned. Here is a pamphlet with more information. Missing the gladiator's spear. Reward $2,000. The Colosseum was built in AD 72 at the command of an important Roman emperor. Its name comes from a Latin word meaning big, and it really is huge. 573 yards in circumference. The Colosseum seated over 50,000 spectators. The rulers and the public came to the arena each week to watch games of strength and other entertainment. The games they watched were often very violent, with gladiators sent to fight riveting foes like hungry lions and elephants. Okay. Not to mention each other, I believe, sometimes. Maybe they sort of want to leave that out of the history they're teaching, though. Who knows? Alright, let's clear out this space here. Where am I? This city was built on 7 hills in 753 BC. It was home to Caesar, the original Italian stallion. Oh, there's a nice little Rocky reference for you. And what is this? To coin a phrase, a lira for your wish. The Trevi was built in 1762. Don't bean the fish. Okay. So, coins, Trevi, fountain. Okay. Oh, come back here. There we go. All right, and there's nothing really happening here. Let's take this pipe up to another part of the city, or pipe down. Hard to say. Now, why doesn't this police officer do anything about the Koopas who are walking around with stolen items? Your capital is now Lira in this capital city. Just do as the Romans do. Okay. I hope you have the sense to return those coins to the Fountain of Trevi. Okay. And our last item here, which does appear to be the gladiator's spear. All right. Continuing on. Seems we ended up in the far northwest of the city. And we'll just ignore that fellow there. And take this street down. And start returning these items. I suppose this is a more sort of Mediterranean sound for the Mario theme. I'll just get these two. And let's find out exactly where what this location is. Why is the Sistine Chapel closed today? Like the sign says, bud, the Sistine Chapel ceiling was stolen and we can't reopen until it gets returned. Here is a pamphlet with more information. Missing the Sistine Chapel ceiling. So, the ceiling but not the roof, or is everything gone over their heads? Reward, $900. Only $900, but bonus $2,400. The prices they give for these items are all over the place. In 1508, Pope Julius II commissioned the artist Michelangelo to decorate the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican. He wasn't used to painting on plaster. It took Michelangelo over 4 years to finish painting the 10,000 square foot ceiling. Much of the painting had to be done in an uncomfortable position. The artist was either lying on wooden scaffolds or looking straight up. The chapel's ceiling is breathtakingly beautiful. It is considered Michelangelo's masterpiece. All right, well, let's select the chapel ceiling there. I want to return the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Let's make this picture perfect. Who painted the ceiling? Leonardo, Splinter, Michelangelo, Donatello. That's the joke right there, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But it was, in fact, Michelangelo. Of course, they were all named after Renaissance artists. And where is the Sistine Chapel located? And you might think, oh, near the Trevi Fountain, since that's one of the other objects or one of the other locations we're going to be visiting. But no, it is not there, nor in Michelangelo's house, nor underground. It is in the Vatican, which I suppose would be in Vatican City, actually, which is its own nation. And there's a very pixelated representation of what is indeed a very beautiful work of art. Very nice. What's next? All right, we've got the coins, we've got the spear. And yes, if we continue down this road, we should get to the Trevi Fountain next. As well as this final Koopa. Have at you. Here we go. Why is the Trevi Fountain closed today? Like the sign says, bud, coins from the Trevi Fountain were stolen, and we can't reopen until it gets returned. Here is a pamphlet with more information. That does seem a very odd reason to close a fountain, is that coins that were inside of it were stolen, but, well. Missing coins from the Trevi Fountain, reward $1,500. I doubt the coins are worth that much. I'll add it up, although if it's a large enough fountain, maybe. Legend says that if a visitor tosses coins over his shoulder into the Trevi Fountain, he will one day return to Rome. The Trevi Fountain is one of the best-known landmarks in Rome because of its fable, but also because of its fancy carvings. The fountain was shown in a 1954 movie, 3 Coins in the Fountain. All right, I want to return coins from the Trevi Fountain. And Trevi is the biggest and oldest, well, that should be fairly straightforward, fountain in Rome. Add your 2 cents, Luigi. Why do people throw coins? Not to feed the fish, not to get change for the laundry, not to make a wish, which is what you would normally expect to do at a fountain or a well, but to return to Rome. Or at least in the hopes of returning to Rome. And there's some of the carvings being depicted there. Very nice. Now, what's the quickest way for us to get back there? Yes, let's head down a couple of streets. And we'll end up at the Colosseum. Just in time to return the gladiator's spear. Just how many people could fit in this place? Well, that was 50,000, which is a tremendous number of spectators. And who would use that spear? Not emperors or lions or javelin throwers, but gladiators. Here we are. Good luck finding Mario. Here's the Colosseum in all of its partially standing glory. Very nice. Now, let's get into the globulator. Now, it said we needed to get to the Mediterranean. This should be fairly straightforward. Now, you'll notice that when you get into Europe, it does sort of zoom in on the map so that they can, nothing gets bunched together. Does make it, I guess, rather, oh, there we go, easier to deal with all of these spaces. And yes, there we are in the boot-shaped country of Italy in the city of Rome. There we go. I believe, playing this game was the first time that anyone ever pointed out that yeah, Italy does look a little bit like a boot, sort of just jutting into the Mediterranean. All right, and let's head on back to the castle, having secured the city. Very well done. There's our next password there. You can write that down if you're following along. But now that we have cleared all 5 of those cities, we now face off against Ludwig von Koopa, and you might think, oh dear, he moves quite quickly. Oh dear, it's quite threatening. Oh no, must stay away from him, but as I said, it's impossible to lose. Yes, all it happens is that he will run back and forth, sometimes avoiding you like that. But all you have to do is land on his head 6 times. If I can manage that. 2, 3. Can sometimes get him a little bit trapped up against a wall. And is that 4, 5, and 6? Oh. There we go. And now that he has been dealt with, we can listen to this nice little triumphant music there for a moment. But we will continue on to the next stage of the castle by heading through this door here. And once again, we are faced with 5 doors here, a slightly different aesthetic to the room. And you'll see there on that little banner, I believe this is Lemmy Koopa, who will be facing off against us once we have cleared these 5 rooms. But we'll start with that next time. All right, Dan, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.